This morning, you woke up and made breakfast. Maybe you had cereal or yogurt or orange juice. You probably picked a brand you trust, a brand that felt familiar, a brand that felt like your choice. But here's what nobody told you. Almost every single item in your kitchen, regardless of the brand on the label, was made by one of just 10 companies. 10. On a planet of 8 billion people with thousands of food brands competing for your attention, 10 corporations control what you eat, what you drink, and what you feed your children. And the scariest part? You've probably never heard of most of them. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most powerful system you interact with every single day and never think about. This is the story of who really owns your supermarket. Walk into any supermarket in the world. You see hundreds of products, thousands of brands, colorful packaging, different logos, different promises. It feels like competition. It feels like freedom, but look closer. That organic yogurt you pay extra for? Owned by Nestlé. That independent bottled water brand? Owned by PepsiCo. That natural cereal with the rustic packaging? Owned by General Mills. The illusion of choice is one of the most sophisticated systems ever built, and it was designed specifically so you wouldn't notice it. There's actually a famous diagram that circulates among economists and food industry analysts. It's called the illusion of choice chart. It maps how nearly every consumer food brand on the planet connects back to the same 10 parent companies. Nestlé, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Unilever, Danone, General Mills, Kellogg's, Mars, Associated British Foods, Mondelez. These 10 corporations generate a combined revenue of over $1 trillion every single year. Let that sink in. $1 trillion. From food alone. This didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly, quietly, over decades, through a process so methodical that by the time most people noticed, it was already done. It started in the 1980s. Before that, the food industry was fragmented. Thousands of regional brands, family-owned companies, local producers, real competition. Then came deregulation. Governments across the US and Europe began loosening antitrust rules. Mergers became easier. Acquisitions became cheaper. And the biggest players realized something important. It's far more profitable to buy a competitor than to beat one. So they started buying. Nestlé alone has acquired over 2,000 brands in its history. 2,000. Companies that used to compete with each other, that used to fight for shelf space, that used to lower prices to win your loyalty, all absorbed into the same balance sheet. The result? Less competition, higher prices, and a food system controlled by a boardroom you've never seen making decisions you never voted on. Here's something supermarkets don't advertise. The products on those shelves didn't get there by accident. There's an entire invisible economy operating between food corporations and retail chains. And it's called slotting fees. Want your product on the eye-level shelf? Pay for it. Want to be placed near the checkout? Pay more. Want a promotional display at the entrance of the store? The price goes up again. This system, completely legal, completely hidden from consumers, means that small independent food companies can almost never compete. They simply can't afford the shelf space. So every time you walk into a store and feel overwhelmed by choice, remember, what you're actually seeing is the result of billion-dollar negotiations between corporations. The choice was curated for you long before you arrived. And it gets deeper. Many supermarket chains now own their own private label brands. Products that look independent, feel artisanal, but are manufactured in the same factories as the major brands. Same product, different packaging, higher margin. You're paying for the illusion every single time, but shelf space is old power. The new power is something far more valuable, data. Every time you use a loyalty card, scan an app, or pay with a linked credit card at a supermarket, you're generating data, purchasing patterns, frequency, preferences, responses to promotions. This data is worth more than the products themselves because it tells corporations exactly what to make, when to make it, how to price it, and how to make you feel like you chose it freely. Companies like Nestle and Unilever spend billions analyzing behavioral data. They know which packaging color makes you feel healthier. They know which words on a label make you pay more. They know that placing a product at a child's eye level increases sales by up to 30%. This isn't marketing, it's behavioral architecture. And you are living inside it every time you shop. Now zoom out, because this isn't just a Western phenomenon. These same 10 companies are aggressively expanding into emerging markets. Southeast Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, South America, regions where local food systems still exist, where traditional diets are still intact. And the playbook is always the same. First, they enter with low-priced products, undercutting local producers. Then, they acquire the most successful local brands, keeping the name, changing the ownership. Then, once local competition is gone, prices rise. Researchers at institutions studying global nutrition have documented this pattern across dozens of countries. As these corporations expand, traditional diets shift. Ultra-processed food consumption rises, and with it, rates of obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease follow. The consolidation of the food supply isn't just an economic story. It's a public health story. It's a geopolitical story, and almost nobody is talking about it. Now, to be fair, not everything about this system is sinister. Scale brings efficiency. These corporations can produce food at a cost that genuinely makes it accessible to billions of people who couldn't otherwise afford it. Nestle, for example, operates in 186 countries. In some of the world's poorest regions, their fortified food products have genuinely reduced malnutrition. And consolidation does fund serious research and development, innovations in food safety, shelf life, and nutrition that smaller companies couldn't afford. But here's the tension at the heart of the story. The same system that feeds the world is also shaping it, in ways that benefit shareholders far more than consumers. And when 10 companies control what 8 billion people eat, the question of accountability becomes urgent. Who do you call when the food system fails? Who do you vote out? The next time you walk into a supermarket, I want you to see it differently. Not as a store, as a system. A system designed with extraordinary precision to guide your behavior, capture your spending, and return value to a very small number of people at the top of a very long chain. The brands on the shelves are not competing with each other. They're performing competition for your benefit, while sharing the same corporate parents, the same lobbying budgets, the same political connections. This is not a conspiracy. It doesn't need to be. It's just how modern capitalism concentrates power, quietly, legally, one acquisition at a time. And understanding it is the first step to navigating it. Because knowledge, as always, is the only thing they can't put on a shelf and sell back to you. If you found this video valuable, and I think you did because you're still here, then subscribe. Every week we pull back the curtain on the hidden systems that shape your world. Next video, the 3 companies that own almost every media outlet you've ever trusted. You're going to want to see that one. See you then.